It's Transforce96 here with another video review. This time we have the Star Wars The Black Series from Rogue One, Chirrut Imwe. This is a figure that I've been very much looking forward to forever now. This figure has really just been, like, kind of released. I don't know. It seems to be pretty readily available online nowadays. However, in stores, I've never seen it, and, you know, most people haven't. So this is kind of an interesting figure as far as how it's been released. Same with Baze, but I was able to get both of these figures, both Baze and Chirrut, on eBay. Got them for just about retail price, $22, which is basically your $20 in the store plus tax. So it came out to just about the same price as if I found them in stores. Very happy to finally get them, though. Packaging's very nice. You do have good artwork of Chirrut on there. And on the back, you have an image of the figure. So I will do, of course, a review for Baze as well. Going over Chirrut Imwe here, he's, of course, I consider him like a standout from Rogue One, as most people would. Donnie Yen is just an awesome martial arts actor, and he really brought some cool stuff to this role. Wish that he did a little bit more, however, he still served a great purpose in the movie, I'd say. Going over the actual head sculpt here, I think it's a pretty nice head sculpt. I think that it does have a solid likeness to Donnie Yen. I like the expression too. It's pretty stern, which I do like. However, it's not overly done. I think the painting lacks a bit. It's got a very pale face, but that is pretty much in line with the rest of the Rogue One style face sculpts. Like, I'm looking at Cassian and Jyn right now, and they have the same type of thing. This is probably the best head sculpt of a Rogue One figure. Well, Director Krennic was pretty good, I think. Maybe just behind Director Krennic, I'm not sure. But overall, I do think that it is a solid head sculpt. I do like it a lot. His eyebrows are, of course, sculpted pretty thickly. However, they're not really painted at the top, but it still does look good. The costume at the torso is very nice. As you can see, all textured, which is great. But it's not overly done, so I do like that quite a bit. I like the fact that his arm does stick out from his sleeve a bit on that side. I think that's very nice, and on this side, of course, it does come down completely. And then, obviously, the top section is a plastic, while the bottom section uses a cloth on top of plastic legs. So the legs themselves, they don't have a tremendous amount of detailing, obviously. This section really has no detailing, and then you have some detailing for the pants. They kind of bunch up towards the ankles there. They get really thin at the ankles. Then he has these small feet. The cloth on it, though, he's got a red kind of undercloth that wraps around it. Then he has a black one with the stripe, which does look quite nice, that goes over it. And then he has two little strands of cloth hanging down here, and then he has a rubber piece that comes down to the back. So I really do like the mixture of cloth and rubber and plastic. I think that it does work really nicely, and of course it allows him to maintain his articulation. They could have easily went with rubber, however the cloth just helps it tremendously. I do like that quite a bit. As far as his articulation goes, it's quite nice. He's got ball hinge head, which can look up a nice amount, can look down very far, and of course side to side. Ball hinge shoulders with hinge swivel elbows. The hinge moves a nice amount. It's pretty much a solid 90 degrees, which is good. And of course it swivels. His wrists are on ball hinges. The hinge on his right side goes up and down, and on his left it goes in and out, but not very much. On the left side it can go in a nice amount, but it really doesn't go out very far at all, which is a bit unfortunate, but not too terrible. He's got a ball-jointed kind of waist. It has popped out on me before. He's completely split in half. He pulled a Darth Maul. So yeah, he can split in half. I'm hoping that it's not like because the ball joint is loose or anything. It's only happened once, but it does concern me possibly for the future, but it should be okay. He has ball-jointed hips, which because of the cloth don't get hindered at all. He's got a swivel at the thigh, double hinge knees, which work great, and then hinge pivoting ankles. Because his ankle does have a little piece here at the front, it doesn't go up a tremendous amount, but it does still maintain quite a nice amount of articulation. The ankles, or the feet in general, do look a bit small, but it is not too bad. I think that it does fit his look pretty nicely. And then his shoulders are kind of nice, and they're thinner, but they're a bit broad. I think that the Hot Toys one actually screws up as far as the way that the shoulders are sculpted. The shoulders are way too broad on the Hot Toys one. I think that the Black Series one actually nails the posture and his proportions a little bit better than the Hot Toys one, believe it or not. But yeah, as far as his accessories are concerned, he comes with his kind of walking stick. The weapon that he uses mainly to fight the stormtroopers in the on Jeddah. So I do think that that is a very nice accessory. It is sculpted pretty nicely. I think that it could have gone with a nice black wash in the wood area. I think that would have improved it a lot, but it still does look nice as far as the sculpting is concerned. And he holds it well, and you can obviously get him to hold it with two hands because it is a very long piece, which is nice. Other than unlike the lightsabers where you just have such a small place to hold it, so it's kind of hard to get them to hold it with two hands because it's just a long stick. He can hold it anywhere on it, so he can hold it very nicely. Then he does come with his bow weapon, which I think is cool. Not as necessary as the staff in my opinion, but I do still think it's nice. As you can see, he holds it very nicely, and his finger does fit in the trigger section. And the little bow pieces on it can hinge out. As you can see, these sections are on a hinge, which is quite nice. But as you can see, he can hold it very nicely, and you can actually do some nice poses with him with this weapon. You can raise his arms up. Yeah, you can get some nice stances with this thing, which I do like quite a bit. However, again, I think that the walking stick is just a little bit, you know, it fits Chirrut a little bit better. I think that it is the cooler weapon of the two, but you can still use this one very nicely, as you can see. Doing a little comparisons here, let's give them a comparison with some of the other Rogue One team members. If you're going to buy Chirrut, of course you have to have Baze. The two just kind of go hand in hand. I think that they both look great together, and their proportions are pretty nice. Obviously, Baze wearing a much looser fitting costume and a big heavier one. He obviously does have a lot more bulk than Chirrut, which I think is completely accurate and does look very nice. And here's a full comparison with the full kind of Rogue One team, other than, of course, Bodhi Rook. It's a shame that they never made that figure. I'm still hoping that maybe eventually, maybe for a Comic-Con convention, you know, sometime in the future, we'll eventually get that figure. I think that, you know, they can see that people will want him simply to complete the team, even though he doesn't really have much of a future in Star Wars, neither does any of these characters, but still, I would have really liked that figure to kind of complete the team. However, even without him, this is still a solid team. I think this is a nice set, and they do look all quite nice together. I think their proportions are pretty solid together as well. I think that's, even on, just as far as the height is concerned, it's pretty good. I think that Jin's a little short. I know that Felicity Jones is relatively short in person, but I think that this is still even a little bit too short, actually. But overall, I think that they all look excellent together. So overall, this Chirrut Imwe figure I really do like. I think that it's pretty perfect. I think the face sculpt is very nice. The sculpting on the upper torso is excellent. The cloth is done very nicely and is completely needed. His accessories are good. He holds them well, and his articulation is pretty solid as well. Double hinge elbows obviously would have been the ideal in this situation, but I think that still the articulation that he has is plenty, and you can really put him in some nice poses fighting stormtroopers and just in cool stances as just in general by himself. So overall, really do like this figure, would definitely recommend it. I think that if you're going to get this one, you should totally get Baze because they kind of go hand in hand together. However, if you really were just going to get one of the two, I think that Chirrut Imwe is the better one to get from a figure standpoint as well as a character. So if you were going to get one, this would be the one to get. However, I think that you really should get both, considering you need both. You can't get one. It's just, it can't happen. So there you go, guys, my review of the Star Wars The Black Series Rogue One Chirrut Imwe. Let me know what you guys think of this figure, and thanks so much for watching.